Hello there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. You know what? Let's get weird. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. But that's okay. So crochet. Believe it or not, I can crochet. This is something that I taught myself a couple of years ago. It's not something I stuck with. I went through a phase of, and I still do to a degree, learning new skills. So to keep the mind kind of sharp, I would find something I could teach myself in 4 weeks. And it varied from origami to crochet to I learned how to yo-yo, I learned how to juggle. And it would just be a little skill that, now I've got. Most of them are useless. Occasionally, they come in handy. But I saw something that Hachette are doing, which you would have seen from the title of the video. And I don't know, I just kind of liked it. So we've picked up issue 1 of the Disney Crochet collection. And what this is a weekly collection that will give you everything you need to make a very lovely crochet patchwork quilt. And it's a Disney one, you can see there. That's what your finished quilt will look like. It has lots of different Disney elements you can see here. We've got Winnie the Pooh, Minnie Mouse, and there's lots of films represented there in different squares. I mean, there's a Jungle Book Granny Square, there's a Winnie the Pooh Square, Moana Garland Square, there's a Tangled Rose Bouquet. It's nice, it's lovely. And again, as I'm saying it, yeah, it's weird that I'm doing this. I get that, I completely get that. But my plan is to make a bunch of these, not just one. So the way this works is you will get at least 2 balls of yarn every week with this. You will also get different hooks and things like that along the way. But you will always get 2 balls of yarn and the instructions to make your next square. Also inside the magazine are other things as well. So if you were to get into this, there are other projects you could make. So we have baby blankets, we have everything, garlands, Mickey Bunting, all kinds of things. It's quite lovely. Now, if you don't know how to crochet, I ain't the guy to teach you, I've got to be honest, because there are people far more versed than me in this. I don't know if this is beyond my ability, so why would you watch me do it? Well, the reason why you watch me do it is because I am a novice. So if you are a novice in this and you're thinking, I'd like to do that, but I don't know how to crochet. Well, neither do I, not really. I know how to chain stitch, I know how to double crochet and triple crochet and slip knot, magic circle and things like that. But can I sit there and just fire this out? No, I can't at all. But that doesn't stop me. And it shouldn't stop you. If this is something you want to learn, I genuinely think, from what I've seen of this is a good jumping on point. And you could teach yourself how to do this. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach myself how to do these different stitches and how to do this, and how to do this well. But again, I ain't the guy. If you're here for how do I do this, Scott? I ain't the guy. Because I'm going to ask you, well, no, how do I do this? There are very good tutorials on YouTube of how to do these things. And I will say this, the step-by-steps are very good. Yours won't look like that when you first do it. If you're new to this, you're going to do this and be like, I haven't done that well. So what can I tell you? What I can tell you is the hardest thing about this is the first 2 lines you do. So you'll do a what's called a chain stitch as your baseline, and then you'll do a line of double crochet that go on top of it. I can show you how to do that. It's not difficult. That part's not difficult. Getting those first 2 lines is the hard part, because you don't really have any sort of structure to hold on to, and it can be a little bit tricky. But once you've got that, the rest of it is, I wouldn't say easy, but it certainly isn't overly complicated. Once you kind of know how to do a double stitch and you're good. You're good. It won't take that long to learn this, I promise you. If you want to learn how to do this, you'll learn. It's not that difficult. And is mine going to look immaculate? No, of course not. But that ain't going to stop me. This is something I want to do. So if crochet is something you'd like to try, well, join us on this journey. It's $4.99 a week, so it's a £5 and you get 2 balls of yarn, which I think is actually really good. You also get the pattern and whatnot to do this. what I'm doing personally, what I'm doing is I am buying additional yarn. So my plan is to make 5 of these blankets at the same time. So where you're making 1 square a week, I'll be making 5 of these squares because I want to make 5 blankets, and the idea is I can then give them as Christmas gifts and whatnot once they're done. So the plan is I'm making multiple blankets at the same time. I'm just buying additional yarn. So once I've got the pattern, you can just keep making them. This is the thing. This isn't like a normal, say, partwork model where you get to make it once. Once you've got the patterns, you could make this blanket whenever you wanted to. You just need to buy the yarn to do it. And yarn's not ridiculously expensive. Crochet is a really cheap hobby to get into. I mean, it can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. But like with anything, decent kit helps. So I'll show you what I've got, and then it's entirely up to you if you want to follow this route. And yeah, there's a difference between cheap plastic hooks and kind of good hooks. So I'll show you what I've got, and this is kind of what I use. So this is what you get with issue 1 for just 99p. You get your 3 balls of yarn. I've already had the blue yarn open, see the quality of it. They are 25 grams of yarn, which is very normal for a crochet ball. You get 3 of these. So you get your baby blue there, sky blue. You get your, I can't remember what colour they're calling this. It's the pink anyway. And we get white. Now, you're not going to use this one in this week's instructions, but you're going to use a lot of white. White is the border for all of these squares, so ultimately you're going to use an absolute ton of white. It's not a case of this week's done, throw away or use what you want. You've got to keep this because you'll be using the different colours for different things. You hold on to what you've got. Again, what you can do is you can just buy additional balls of this from any sort of retailer that stocks crochet yarn and make multiple blankets if you want to. I mean, you might as well make 2 at the same time. You know, it's good practice. The other thing you get is you get a 4mm crochet hook, and this is a metal one, and this is good. It's such a good crochet hook. It's a decent one because it's sturdy. A lot of starter sets come with a plastic crochet hook, which is bloody awful, which is going to lead to people quitting quite soon. Plastic ones bend, the actual hook isn't very good. What I prefer to these, I mean, this is good, don't get me wrong, this is good and more than good for beginner, which I am, but I prefer the ones with the handle. I prefer these ones with the rubber handle. I just find them easier to use, so I do have a set of these. Other things you'll need is a tape measure. It'd do you well to get a yarn needle. I don't know if they're going to give you these, but I'd advise getting them. The other thing that I use is markers. Now you can just use safety pins if you want to, but when you have to keep count of rows. So if you're going to stop or whatever it is, you can insert one of these little hooks, and it just reminds you of how many rows you've done. I also have a stitch counter, which I can sort of turn and see where my stitches go. I'll show you the magazine, and you can see the kind of instructions that are inside of it. So again to the, there we go. Here's how to make the Mickey motif, which is going to sew into the square. Gives you the instructions how to do it. I mean, again, the sky blue background square, the instructions are really basic because they just want you to do 30 rows of double crochet. Once you know how to do that, it is quite easy. You can make the square. Yours isn't going to look immaculate, so don't worry about that. It's the same with kind of any modelling essay, you know. Go at your own pace and don't expect yours to look like the picture immediately, because it won't, and that's what practice is. The Coral Mickey motif is slightly more difficult, but we'll come to that. But it's not impossible by any means. Then you can see the things. You've got these pot holders. We've got a glimpse of what we're doing. The next one do this Moana garland, which again is just a chain stitch square, but they're going to show us how to make those little flowers to go on there as well. Show you how to double crochet here. That's what we get. So we got the Ariel baby blanket, and instructions on how to do it. So I mean, you'll amass a good library of kind of projects that you can do. Shows you how to tie a slip knot. A lot of people have problems with the slip knot, but again, I'll show you how I tie a slip knot. I don't find it that difficult to do. There's Mickey Bunting. There's all kinds of, I mean, you know, it is what it is. It shows you how to do these things, but again, there are fantastic YouTube tutorials teaching you how to do all of these things. So we'll have a look at it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start with the slip knot. So how do you tie a slip knot? Right, well, quite simply, take your yarn, rotate around your finger, and make this cross. Okay, so make cross there. Holding on to this with your thumb, go back round there, and then all you got to do is take this loop here, put it over this loop there, lift up, and there you have your slip knot. It really is that simple. That's how easy it is to do a slip knot. And then take your hook. I'm just going to pull that taut to the hook. That's it. So get comfortable holding your yarn. I mean, I personally, this is how I hold mine. So I'm holding that part like that and that part like that. And then all we're going to do is zoom so you can see this. So this is our chain stitch. So what we're going to do is go around there, yarn over. Hold on. See, as I said, it's hard because I'm trying to film myself doing this right. So we're going to go there, we yarn over, and we pull through the hoop. And that's it. That's one chain. Do that, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. We're going to do this 25 times, so let me get that done. So now we have our chain of 25, which you can see there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our double crochets. So this is not as hard as it sounds, right? So we're going for our second loop, which is here. We're going to go through there. That puts 2 on the hook. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through the first hoop here, leaving us 2 on the hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull that through both of those loops. So through one, through the other. There you go. And there's your first double crochet. And we're going to do this on the entire line. So yarn over. Grab our yarn. There we go. Through the hoop. Through again. Okay. Double crochets, and that's how you're going to do this. As I said, I'm not the guy for the tutorials here, but this is what we're going to do. And we're going to do this all the way along. Yarn over, through there, and through. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this the entire length, and we'll take a look. So there we have it. We have our first line of double crochets. Let me straighten this out so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Simple enough. Now what we're going to do is going to turn our work over. And we're going to do a single stitch. So yarn over it, pull through. And then you go back down exactly as I just showed you. Back down our line. Double it all the way through. And we got to that 28 rows, of that, or 30 rows, sorry, of that. So I'm just going to get on with that, and we'll take a look how it looks. So there we are. So that's mine done. Now, am I happy with it? Not really. I'm probably going to pick it apart and do it again. But there you go. That's my first square taken care of. The next thing we go into is going to make these mouse ears. So I'm going to pop that over there. I'm taking our coral yarn. We're going to make mouse ears. Now, I have already made one. That's this one here. It's a bit of a weird technique to do it, but once you kind of find your flow again, it's not so difficult. We're all done for our first attempt. I mean, I've stitched this to this now, so it's stitched on the back. I'm happy with it for a first attempt. I'm happy. Am I happy overall? No. But I'm going to make a bunch of these, so the skill will improve, the ability will improve, and I'll be happy with it. So yeah, it's looking weird on this camera, but trust me, it looks a lot better than that from what I'm looking at it. But no, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. For a first attempt, I'm happy. Let's have a try. There we go. I mean, it's you know, I'm happy. As a first effort, you can see the light shining through there. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. There you go. You can get an idea of the size of this thing. Yeah, I like it. It's not difficult. It just isn't. I didn't show you in detail how we do the mouse ears and the mouse head, but again, it's just double stitching. So it's double stitching in loops. You just double stitch and double stitch and double stitch, and it creates the loop. And it's all very explained in here, exactly how to do it. So it's not difficult. If you follow these things, it's not difficult. And the one thing I will say about this, really forgiving. So if you miss a stitch or you drop a stitch or whatever it is, you just pull, it undoes it, you put your hook back in, and off you go. So it's very forgiving. I am subscribed to it because it's a £5 a week. I mean, it's nothing. You get the yarn and whatnot, and we'll see how we get on with it. And as I said, I'm making a bunch of these quilts. It's not just going to be one. I'm going to make a bunch of these blankets at the same time. So I've got a little bit of time to bang out another 4 of these, and the skill should improve. But it's just counting. It's just once you kind of got the stitches down, you just count. It's just not that difficult. I enjoyed it. Now there is something you can do on the subscription, which I will show you. So there is, as always, an option to go premium, and if you go premium, you can get some amigurumi crochet characters. So there's Winnie the Pooh, Olaf, Piglet, and Simba, and there'll be a 5th one, which will be voted on by the people that sub to this. Now it's an extra £1 per issue. Over 100 issues, and there's 5 of them. So what you've got to ask yourself is, are they worth 20 quid each? Because that is essentially what you're paying for them. And my answer to that is no. The amount of yarn you're going to get, you can have a lot. You can just buy yarn. I mean, essentially what you're paying for there is it worth 20 quid for a pattern and some stuffing and some eyes? Because that's all it's going to be. No, it's not. You can get free patterns for Disney character amigurumi dolls all over the internet. You can buy them for a couple of quid from Etsy, the patterns there. So do I think the premium's worth it? For me personally, no. I'm not really interested. I've seen some of those little crochet dolls I'd like to make. Not those ones. I just want to make the quilt. I just want to make the blanket. That's all I want to make. But if you want to do it, go for it. But I just don't think the money's there. I think for 20 quid for each of those, because that is essentially what you're paying. That's what the premium's going to cover. Not for me. You do get some gifts, so you will get a set of crochet hooks. You will get a binder. You get issue 3 free. And you also get like a bag, like a tote bag, a Winnie the Pooh tote bag. The wife's having that. And you get a little kit as well that goes with. I mean, it's a nice collection. It is, and I mean for a £5, it's nothing. And I mean it teaches you skills. So there you go. That's all your freebies there. You get the crochet hooks, the bag, free issue binder, and an accessory kit. So, like I said, I ain't the guy to teach how to do this, but I am the guy that you can struggle along with it with. And as my skills improve, your skills will improve, and if I can help you anywhere from a novice standpoint, I'll help you, you know? Rather than some expert just burn through this and go, that's how quickly you do it. I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'd struggle through it. And, you know, I did, and I'm happy with what we arrived at. So, don't be scared of it. If you want to give it a go, give it a go. A lot of fun, right? And let's face it, this is weird. Me doing this is weird. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, let's just accept it. It's weird, but I embrace the weird. If you haven't yet, give us a like. And what helps us even more is if you've enjoyed that. If you enjoyed any of what we've done, hit the subscribe button. It helps our channel massively. It really does. It's very much appreciated. And join our merry band of weirdos with all the other weird and wacky things that we build. And you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com with any questions you may have, or pop it in the comments down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you hit the bell, which I think is around about here somewhere, you'll get a notification every time a video comes up. And that is all for this one. We will be doing this. We will, like I said, we will be subbing and going all the way to the end on this. So, yeah, it's not for everyone. I appreciate that. And it is weird. It's just weird. But if you like a bit of weird, swing by and watch us make a blanket. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice, and I will catch you on the next one.